Let's now talk about Nigeria's oil sector. The Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited says it has declared a state of emergency on oil production. It said the move was geared towards increasing Nigeria's crude oil production and growing its reserves. Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPCL, Mele Kyari, disclosed this in a keynote address at the opening of the 23rd edition of the Nigeria Oil and Gas Conference and Exhibition Week in Abuja on Tuesday. According to Kyari, a detailed analysis of assets revealed that Nigeria could conveniently produce 2 million barrels of crude oil per day without deploying new rigs. He adds that the war will help NNPCL and its partners to speedily clear all identified obstacles to effective and efficient production, such as delays in procurement processes, which have become a challenge in the industry. And joining me on the news to discuss this is an energy consultant, Seun Dania. Seun, thank you so much for joining us on the news.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
So does Nigeria have the capacity to produce 2 million barrels of crude oil per day without deploying new rigs and given all the existential threats in and around the producing states?
Technically, yes. And we've seen over some years, I think as far back 2005, before that, Nigeria was producing well over 6.1 million barrels a day. So as we are now, without any reduction, I believe that most of the oil fields have actually increased their production. And if not for the security situation in the Niger Delta region, pipeline vandalism, oil theft, and the cases of illegal refineries that significantly hamper our production capacity, Nigeria definitely can produce, and we are able to get, a lot more than that. I believe that even with OPEC, we demanded for slightly over 2 million, and yeah, we have the potential, evidently.
So with the declaration of the state of emergency in the sector, do you think finally we are going to start seeing efforts in putting an end to the issues around pipeline vandalism that you mentioned, oil thefts, illegal refineries, even the completion of modular refineries?
It's a step in the right direction. However, like the CEO said, he said they know the people, they know what to do, they know who they are fighting, they know who, they know what the war is against. But why haven't they done it all this while? So it's a step in the right direction. It's not a magic bullet. They have to, how well they successfully, initiate the things that are going to solve these challenges that's now left to them. Now, it depends on how serious. Most of the time, we have always known these challenges. It has been whether there's been the political will to actually execute and ensure that we eradicate these things from our country and make sure that, livelihoods of people are well protected.
Now, you will remember, Seun, you remember that Nigeria's businessman, Aliko Dangote, specifically spoke about mafia in that particular sector, actually trying as much as possible to sabotage efforts to improve the values of that particular sector. So do you think that those people that constitute the mafia are above the law or within the ambit of what the Nigerian government can actually deal with?
Nobody is above the law, After God, it's government, So the government knows what they are fighting. They have an idea. So let's even say we want to blame it on past administrations. We have a new administration that's just about a year old now. And whatever cabal or mafia that it is that's within the sector, it's about being able to have negotiations with them if necessary, or then if those negotiations cannot, because at the end of the day, all these people, mafia is you and I, is different businessmen who are just trying to protect their interests at whatever cost necessary and have found themselves on the wrong side of the law. We cannot allow over 200 million Nigerians to suffer because of a few select people who want to make money. Right now, we see that people are suffering, things are difficult. So yes, if Aliko Dangote is saying it, that's because he is also beginning to experience it as he's new in this industry. But definitely with political will and commitment from the government, we're able to eradicate mafia or whatever they call themselves, cabals, whatever.
Well, we've said that over and over again, but we've not actually seen anything in that regards. Now, I'm sure, let me ask you, the NNPCL chief also mentioned delays in procurement processes, and that would mean cumbersome procedures, bureaucratic red tape, corruption, inefficient allocation of resources, among others. Now, the question is, the delay is on the part of who? Is it the government or the entity itself that has often been accused of carrying out operations shrouded in secrecy?
So this delay in procurement process, is a result of a complex interplay of factors. So first, the bureaucratic red tape, the corruption, inefficient allocation of resources, the lack of transparency that comes from the NNPC from the get-go. Yes, both the government and NNPC bear some responsibility. However, the NNPC has the responsibility of providing transparency and accountability. Now the NNPC is a private company, so to say. Now it's NNPC Limited. They owe it to their stakeholders to actually report information, and of course the government and we Nigerians through the government are part of these stakeholders. So evidently they owe it to us to provide us all the information that is required as necessary, to ensure that we know what's going on with our resources.
All right, let's quickly let's look at it from the external factors now. Global oil prices of crude have spiked due to geopolitical tensions and beckoning hurricane seasons. So even if Nigeria is able to ramp up productions, won't there be export disruptions due to these external shocks, or can Nigeria still find markets for its crude?
Of course, despite all the tension and whatnot, Nigeria's crude oil is light sweet crude, and it means it's in high demand globally. For us to maximize our market potential, we need to be able to address our production challenges and ensure that there's stable and reliable supply. See, most of these refineries, when they start, they're very difficult to stop, right? And when you stop a refinery or a plant, it takes a long time to get it back up. So all these refineries require steady and reliable supply. That is why most refineries will go and shop here, shop around. But if Nigeria is able to fix our internal problems and guarantee certain refineries reliable and stable supply, everybody will be queuing up for Nigeria's crude. And let's not forget that Aliko Dangote has built one of the largest refineries in the world right here in Nigeria. So do we still need to be talking about export? We need to first be thinking about how we ensure that we supply that refinery enough of this crude oil for local production, local consumption, and after Nigeria, West Africa, and the whole sub-Saharan Africa, before we then start thinking about exporting to other countries. There's enough money to be made locally.
Well, you may need to hold IOCs responsible if we're not able to expand that value chain. Seun Dania, energy consultant, thank you so much.
Why would you hold IOCs responsible? They're doing their business.
Well, of course, I agree with you. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you for having me.